Hi, and welcome to another very interesting discussion in our Green Tech Focus series. I'm Francis O'Hare. I am Sustainable Technologies Ambassador with Techies Go Green. I'm joined today by Michael O'Hara, my colleague, who is co-founder, Techies Go Green. And our guests today are Mary Kennedy, who is Chief of Staff with Overhaul. And also we have Donal Quinn, who is founder and CEO with Enso Impact. Can you guys give us a little bit of an overview of your roles and your companies? Mary, maybe starting with you.
Thanks, Francis. I'm Mary Kennedy, Chief of Staff with Overhaul, based in Dundalk, County Louth. We are a supply chain risk management solution for our clients that gives visibility on their shipments in transit, and we also provide insurance services. We're approximately 10 years old. We had our birthday back in March, and we are founded by two Irish guys, Barry Conlon, who's our CEO based in Austin, Texas, and David Brough, based out of Dundalk, County Louth, who's our Chief Operations Officer. We've approximately 600 team members globally, and we are a very fun and innovative and supply chain sustainability focused company.
Very good. And Donal, yourself?
Thanks, Francis. My name is Donal Quinn, founder and CEO of Enso. And at Enso, we simplify sustainability for businesses and help make it one of their key competitive advantages. Our approach is really simple. We've built a platform that offers some structure and support. We also have some consultancy, which helps them with guidance, strategic advice, and accountability is really, really important. And then our approach is very simple. We want to help businesses prioritize sustainability. That means making sure that it integrates with their sales, their marketing, and their growth and scaling. And then once it's prioritised, they'll invest in it. And then we'll, as a company, have to help them have that positive impact on the environment and within their communities.
Very good. When did you set up, Donal?
Set up, we launched 3 years ago.
Okay.
Launched 3 years ago, specifically in the food and drink sector. So we worked with lots of really cool brands and really interesting food and drink brands.
With big sustainability issues as well.
Solely on sustainability and helping them, I suppose, look at their sourcing, look at their supply chain, and then their communications as well.
And food waste is a huge issue.
Food waste is huge, packaging. So it's really, really interesting. And now we've expanded in, we're working with businesses from SMEs upwards, like companies like Overhaul.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks, Francis. As you mentioned, I am the co-founder and membership ambassador here in Techies Go Green, and set up in 2021. We are a community. We have over 1,000 members across the UK and Ireland, anything from SMEs up. And really what we do is we try and help these companies along on their sustainability journey by building awareness and educating them and helping them to get ultimately to net zero. We have over 200 partners. Enso is one of our partners. I'm delighted to be here today to hear more about the platform and hear from Mary. Very interesting what you do, Mary. And that's it from me for the moment.
Great. Thank you, Michael, Mary and Donal. So if we can kick off then with some of our questions. So Mary, when did sustainability start to move up the priority list for Overhaul?
So this is a great question. Back before I actually started in Overhaul, when I returned from some overseas assignments, I went back and did a master's in supply chain management. And basically at the time I was just trying to work out if everything I'd been doing over the course of my career was correct, or if there'd been any new innovation or what was happening. And on that programme in UCD, I had a module which was sustainability. And that showed me that pretty much the professor said everything I'd been doing for the last, however many years was incorrect. And that I had been very focused on mass production and unification. So it kind of sparked something because it was something different that I hadn't been involved with. And it kind of opened me up to reading and kind of, bit of research. And then when I was in Overhaul, we had hired a recent graduate on a J1 programme who was also of the same thought stream. Yeah. And we were both looking at it, and we were going, there has to be, a way. And we were kind of, it was so early, like this is, 5 years ago, that we were going, what will we do? And after talking to a couple of different people, we were going, well, we might just actually start. We need to find a way to start. And that's when we actually came across Donal. And it was really fortunate timing for us because we had the passion, but we didn't have the expertise. We knew where it was going to go, and we knew this was going to be something that was going to progress. And Overhaul is very much looking into the future, and we will try anything. If we think it's going to be a good idea, we'll test it out. Yeah. And that's where we had Donal's expertise and Erin. They sat with us to show what we could do. We knew that we would have to present this internally to get some buy-in, because that's the only way it'll work. But we're really fortunate with our CEO and COO in terms of anything that they see is going to help a customer in the future is something that they'll buy into.
Yeah. And what's that journey been like so far then?
It's been great. Every day is a school day. So we were really fortunate. We've just launched our second sustainability report, which when you have a really small team, is a big undertaking. And it was due to Kiva's kind of hard work and passion in the background, and going out to visit different companies that were doing tours to share what they were doing with the community, spending time. I think Donal and Erin had a weekly call at one point to where we're going, can we use this information, or will we go with this? What will we do? And looking at different reports to say, we really like how that's being communicated. Now, what helped us was, because it's an annual report, sustainability lives and breathes, on a daily basis in an organisation. So by having the ENSO platform, it gave us an option to showcase with customers, our own teams, how we were making differences and keep them up to date with the link that comes through our website into the platform.
Yeah. So businesses are coming under a huge amount of pressure, both from up and down their supply chains, around sustainability. What kind of questions are you being asked by your supply chain partners in that regard? Yeah,
that's a really interesting one, because I would say 18 months to 24 months ago, we would have had about 5 questions, and it would be, are you thinking about sustainability? Are you thinking about coming up with a strategy? Where now we are getting questionnaires that are coming through that'll have 150 plus questions. Wow. So it's definitely, you can see how it's evolved over that short period, and a lot of it is companies just trying to gather information themselves to work out what are we doing. A question for you, Michael. And that, what did most Irish businesses get wrong when they start out on this journey?
Yeah, it's very interesting to hear you speak there, Mary. And I'm sure you found this as well. Like first of all, I think as many surveys covers this, most companies and businesses and people, are aware of climate change and would like to take action. So they're open to taking action, but when they then look at sustainability, it's such a big area, and where do you start? And it's, getting that right advice. And it was interesting to hear you speak there. You engaged with Donal and Enso and Erin, and I would like to think that they actually were consulting you as well as helping you with the Enso platform.
Absolutely.
So that would have been a great help. But I suppose the main thing I would say, the biggest issue is getting the buy-in from management, which you did, and but it's not just like it's Mary's looking after that, I just keep doing my job. It has to be across the whole company, and the whole management layer has to buy into it, and it has to be built into the KPIs for everyone in the team. And I think that's the main thing, that it is not just one department or one person, the sustainability champion. So
yeah, very good. And for you, Donal, what does a typical business look like when they initially come to you, and then what do they look like after they've engaged and deployed your platform?
Yeah, great question. And even chatting as Overhaul as an example, but generally, most businesses that we work with, they do not have a dedicated full-time sustainability manager. So we were really lucky with Overhaul that with Kiva, she was actually focusing on this a lot of her time. So we had a really good lead person there. I think that's one of the biggest challenges with businesses. How do we get the resources in terms of those people to take time out of their full-time job to look at sustainability? So that's one big challenge. And then just getting started. It's such a huge, broad spectrum of topics that people have to sort of navigate and figure out what's relevant to them, what's necessary for them to look at. So what we typically do, we bring them through our platform, quickly audit where they're at, and so we look at what they're doing and what they're not doing. And we'll do this over 1 or 2 online calls really quickly. And then for everything that they are doing, we'll start pulling in that information so they can start building momentum and actually start talking about what they're doing across their business. And then for what they're not doing, we'll then really have to make a manageable and feasible plan so that they can take small, meaningful actions to keep progressing and start tackling all of those impacts that they're not addressing. And then the key output is really helping them communicate that. So like Mary mentioned, it's maybe circulating that with the senior management team, with the wider team below, with your customers, your supply chain, and any other stakeholders that are interested as well. I know you do a lot of community work as well, and it's really showing them what you're doing around sustainability.
Very good. Having the ammunition to answer those hard questions from your supply chain.
It is, and it's really, when you do that initial piece of work and you start working with us, you'll have your initial communications outlay, but then it's not just a snapshot. You're continually progressing, so you're adding to that all the time, layering it up, and then that feeds into marketing and wider reporting.
Yeah, and the platform, you build it into your customers, your clients' websites, and into the reports
exactly,
like
it's to
that.
make it easy, so you can embed it into your own, and really when you look at sustainability communication, if you looked at it a few years ago, people would say, we're trying to be more sustainable, we're trying to save energy and maybe reduce our packaging. That was it, very broad, no specifics. What we do now, it all has to be evidence-based, supporting documentation. So when you're talking about what you're doing, can you back it up? Show the journey that you've been on. And then even when you're talking about your targets, outline how you're going to get there. So one thing just around the communications, a lot of businesses, they don't want to say it because they feel that they don't have everything done. You don't need to have everything done, even if you have targets and ambitions. Tell people about that and say, look, we've done an audit of our business, and we've found this gap, and this is how we plan to address it. But exactly, it's then giving people reporting, marketing collaboration.
And it's ideal then for a business. And Mary, you might have had this experience where you talk to a new client and they're trying to figure out, are you the right supplier, and what are you doing around sustainability? Well, here's our report, or if you go to our website, let me show you here, and you have all the different things that you've done and what you're planning to do in one place.
In an engaging way, that's not too technical, it's sort of engaging.
It gives that warm comfort feeling to a potential new customer.
Exactly.
Or supplier.
Even kind of, because at the period before we'd published our first report, having something to physically show that we could point them to the platform. And even to show our own internal teams and share that with them, to say, look, this is what we're doing and it's a journey, and to get their ideas and get them thinking about it. And we really loved how it was broken down and correlated with the UN SDGs and made it super clear for team members, because a lot of them, their kids are learning about this in schools, and they're proud to show off and say, this is what we're doing.
So Mary, when people hear sustainability, they often think just environmental, and what does sustainability mean inside your organisation?
So we're very much about people, planet and profit, our 3 Ps. So some people will come to us. We have a very big focus on our culture code. And we live and breathe our culture code. Thank you, Amy Campbell, who set it up originally, our Chief People Officer. And when we are looking at things like that, it's outreach, volunteering. And there's not a great way for us to showcase that externally until we were looking at this and going, actually, we can include that as part of the social initiatives and our community engagement, because, it's the future generations that are going to live and breathe this. if you walk around any school or community centre now, you'll see posters with the UN SDGs, or you'll see people doing presentations, and I think the younger people coming through have they don't think the way we did, where it was, oh, stop printing. They're focused on, oh, well, if I do this work in an area, I can then help, someone in my family or my friend group. And there's a big focus around, so we do a challenge called the 100K in 30 days, where we get the entire company, we offer out if anyone wants to do the 30-kilometre challenge over the month of June, which kicks off on Monday. They're very welcome to. The company will sponsor that. And we have a lot of fun with it, where we'll say take photos where you are, pets, kids, family members, everyone's welcome. And there's a t-shirt and it's changed colour this year, which is the big talking point. And we have a lot of engagement on our Slack channels, because we are very, across all of our different teams globally, it's a one common goal. Everyone is trying to see how we get on. Now, there is a cup. Just saying, Europe won it last year.
Oh, okay.
But a physical cup, and we get our auditors come in at the end and they'll do the presentation. Okay, we're very into it. But things like that, you don't know about it unless you're inside the organisation, unless we have a way to share it out. And we can do things like LinkedIn posts and stuff like that, but this shows if someone was coming across the website and they want to have a little look, we have that highlighted.
Very good. And Mary, how important is that communication of your sustainability journey with your customers, partners, stakeholders?
So it's gaining traction, like we said earlier, in terms of the number of questions that are coming in from a potential client. We had a Series C funding round last year for 105 million US.
Wow.
And part of that was a sustainability audit included. So it's very valuable as we progress. But it's great in terms of that, but it's also for our own team members, where they can think about what can we do on a daily basis, or what ideas can I share across teams, or if I have something that's worked really well in our office or at home, I should have a forum to share that across the group and feel comfortable to do so.
Yeah. And a question for all of you now. For a small business owner or a team who wants to get started, where do they begin? Maybe Donal, do you want to take that one first?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, firstly, I think Mary hit on a few points. When they started, they're actually doing more than she, probably realised. Yeah. So, sitting down and actually going through that list, that's not as scary as some people might think. So that getting started, and what we do is just offer that framework and that structure to start going through it. And most businesses will find they've got a lot more policies in place than they think, or else they're working with the local community, or they're doing some sort of energy measurement. So generally,
they're doing a lot of good. They don't realise it, and they haven't pushed it out there.
Exactly. And then when you sit down and you see it in front, it's like, okay, this is ongoing, this is in progress, we're not too bad here. And then that breaks down the barrier immediately and builds up that momentum. So for me, it's like literally the best way to get started is just to get started. Yeah. For us, it's doing that quick audit to see what you're doing, and then all the stuff that you're not doing, we'll help you, or just stuff online that you can actually, and Techies as well, to maybe, lots of different resources. And in Ireland especially, there's lots with Enterprise Ireland, there's grants, funding, there's a lot of different experts in different fields that will help you along the journey. So there's lots of help out there, and Techies is a really great resource to go there. So.
Absolutely. Michael, would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's getting started. It's getting that rock to start to roll down the hill to get to sustainability, and working in a community that's sharing information. We all learn from our peers, and to hear Mary's story, it's very inspirational, and it just gives people hopefully the encouragement then to say, well, I can do this too. I think that's really key.
And Mary, you guys have done it. You've started now and you've progressed. Where would you recommend people get started?
Literally just start.
I know
I'm repeating what the guys were saying, but it was like we were a team of two. Engine
sustainability.
And it wasn't our full-time focus. But just having a passion in there, but being able to show the business something tangible that is very cost effective at, you know, the charges. It was difficult to say no.
Yeah.
So being able to do that, to get buy-in, and then just going through, and it really does highlight some of the fantastic things people are doing or companies are doing as you go through the list with Donal going, well, what about this? And they're like, yeah, no, you can definitely, like, that would equate to here. I'm like, oh, okay. It's just thinking about it and starting and ask questions, because everyone's on the same journey. Trying to work it out, and no one has all the answers. Well, if they do, you know, great, but we definitely didn't. So if you just ask questions, people are really willing to help on the community, or they'll think of a way, you know, and say, well, you know, we're having the same problem, let's put our heads together and try and work out what we're doing, and we'll reason it.
And again, another question for all of you, and that is, you know, crystal ball time. What do you think the next 12 to 24 months looks like for Irish SMEs around ESG? Maybe, Michael, do you want
to? What it'll look like? Sustainability is just going to become more and more of an issue. You know, we have CSRD, got a little watered down there in the last year or so, but that isn't going to go away. And, you know, certainly up to 2030, there's going to be more and more companies going to be pulled in there. You know, we this week we've had a fantastic heat wave, record temperatures, and we're still in spring, and so those weather impacts is just going to drive this more and more. So it's just going to it's an area, a business sector that is going to grow and grow.
Anyone else like to take a punt on that?
I think you know, it's the same. It's going to, with the youth coming through into the workforce, there is very much a passion for, you know, they want to have a planet around that is
and
a
that
good
wasn't
environment.
When we went to school, we weren't even thinking that way, but it's great to see it, that it's starting in school now. And I think sustainability is a leave-it subject now. They've brought it into the curriculum.
I think they're going to start pushing with companies. You know, we're in practically full employment in Ireland. We're very fortunate at the moment. But if we look at things where there's a deciding factor and someone really has a passion around this, it's going to be the difference between someone accepting a role.
And staying there.
You
know, it's like, you know, that employee retention's huge. Look, from us, for the practical side, for a lot of businesses, I think it boils down to data and having your data stored and categorised and filed in the right way that is easy to share. And Mary mentioned around, you know, those questionnaires, and a lot of that is larger businesses wanting to do the right thing and you know, having their own reporting, but a lot of it's actually now building resilient supply chains. So, you know, bigger businesses want to make sure that their suppliers are ethical, responsible, you know, they're going to be around and they're operating in their own, or being efficient and trying to be more sustainable. So those bigger businesses shoring up their supply chain and sustainability reporting and sharing that is really going to be hugely important. And then Michael just mentioned the CSRD. We do have, you know, the VSME, the voluntary SME standard from the EU, which soon to be most likely changed to the voluntary standard, which is very, I think going forward, we're going to see a lot more of that. That terminology is going to come in. And it's really just to standardise that data sharing and reporting for businesses.
And I think as well, while it may have started out as being doing the right thing, I think a lot of businesses are seeing it as a great business opportunity.
Of course.
I was just going to say that, like people are making sustainability decisions, like maybe putting solar panels in the offices, and you're getting a return in 3 years, 5 years, and you have the panels for 25 years after that. It's kind of a no-brainer, and a lot of that sustainability, reducing costs or helping grow the sales or reducing the risk within the business, that's going to drive sustainability.
And that's actually a really good point. Before we met Donal, we had talked to a couple of people while we were on that journey, and we're due to move offices. And people had said to us, wait, don't start now, because if you publish, your footprint is going to increase. And that mindset is a barrier.
Yeah.
You know, it's move forward with what you have right
Be
now.
transparent.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is where
Yeah.
we're at. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And if you had to leave the audience with a call to action, what would that be? Maybe Donal yourself.
Yeah, look, I think the message thread has been just get started, and we partnered through Enso with Techies to provide a starter plan really for businesses that they can get free access to our platform, start their journey, do that initial ESG audit, see what they're doing, see what they're not doing, start maybe building out their internal green team, and take those first steps. So for us, it's like visit Techies Go Green, see the Enso offer, and join up and get your journey started, and you'll find out it's not so scary. And yeah.
And Mary?
Communicate with the guys, because you're doing more than you actually know you are as an organisation. Come have a look at what we have, or be happy to chat to anyone about it. But yeah, it is just start.
Yeah. And Michael?
Yeah, join the community.
Yes.
Like Techies Go Green, it's free. We want to get as many businesses in as possible. We don't want to put barriers there preventing them from joining. And then work with partners. I have to say Enso do a fantastic job, and learn from your peers as well. To communicate, there's a great opportunity to communicate within Techies Go Green. So
Great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you,
Thanks.
Donal.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Francis.
Mary.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Michael, for joining us today.
yeah, delighted.
Thanks, everyone.